Hi, I'm Eric Westridge, and you're watching Startup Show San Diego, a startup TV show about startup companies. And we're here, actually it's Startup Week, San Diego Startup Week, and we're here with Canadian and founder of Union Cowork, Jamie Miller. Jamie, welcome.
Thanks.
So, Jamie, why Canadian?
Canadian because I grew up there. I do joke with people that I'm a quasi-socialist because of that. So it's important it reflects the kind of work I do right now.
So when they look at the work, people often look at the symptoms. What do they see? They see places for people to work going up, Union Cowork.
Okay.
Where did that come from? Why did you decide you needed to get into helping people work together? Where did that start?
It started when I was little, and I used to follow my grandfather around. He was a property management person, and he managed properties and built communities in some challenging areas of Washington, D.C. So I spent my summers with him learning, and I think that's just part of my essence, and that's where it kind of started.
And what were those challenges like?
The challenges that he faced?
Yes, that you learned from him. What did you explore with him?
Well, taking on sort of unimaginable tasks from the perspective of people without hope who he actually worked with, develop communities that they actually cared about. And at that point, he actually had very little of a property management problem and a much better community within which people took care of for him.
So the idea was building communities. What were communities like after you guys went through that were different than when you first got there?
It's really eyes and ears on the street and better relationships. And as it relates to co-working, I would say, we haven't had one item stolen in our spaces in 5 years. And I think it's akin to that same mantra.
Okay.
Yeah.
So why San Diego then? You were in DC, helping people feel good about where they live and...
Yeah, I learned that in DC. I wasn't necessarily doing it. I went to architecture school here in San Diego, and I've lived in San Diego for about 30% of my life. And I was an architect who always had interest in community. So Canadian plus property management plus architecture equals community builder, I think. When I got out of school and became an architect, worked as an architect, I needed a place to work. And it just made sense that outside of the coffee shop, which wasn't sustainable, that I would just do it myself.
So your first community you built was for yourself?
Yep, and with people that just came off the street. I put up a sign that said office space available, and we filled up in a week, and we had a really special thing going immediately.
And so as you started to grow, what was your biggest challenge?
I think the biggest challenge is one of the mainstays of any company, which is communication. So whether it's communicating with tenants, residents, members, or landlords, or project managers on a construction project, communication is the biggest challenge no matter what.
And so what are your communities like, and how many of them are there?
We have 5 communities. We're neighborhood-centric, which means we're the walkable, bikeable option for people who want to live near where they work. And we're California-centric, so we'll be in communities throughout California supporting relationship building throughout the state.
And so how do you see yourself growing in the next year or so? How are you changing?
We're changing in the size of the spaces we do, the types of space we provide.
How is that changing? How's the type changing?
Well, even sitting here doing this interview, we'll have spaces for people to do multimedia presentations or interviews, and what we've learned over 5 years will influence how we develop the spaces in the future, which is really fine-tuning shared workspace, creating spaces that seem and are private, but in an open floor plan.
And San Diego really is driven as it's exploding as a startup center. It's exploding with communities and coming and people working together. And so communities are becoming a very part of San Diego that's kind of different from some other cities.
Yeah. You mean the communities?
In San Diego, they tend to be live, work, play, ride the bike,
yeah,
ride bike.
And it extends to weather too. So as a year-round, a lot of the co-work spaces we build, people are working outside and appreciate that as much as they do inside. The nice thing is that the common glue is that the community is what people come back for, and that's the longevity for us relies on that.
So more spaces across California.
Yep.
And the most important question, if somebody wants to learn more about you and Union Cowork, where do they go?
UnionCowork.com.
Jamie, thank you very much for being here.
Thanks.
And thank you for watching.